Whew. As you can see, I'm in company man mode. Hope everybody's Sunday is going good. You know, something came to me. I was sitting there thinking about it, and I was like, well, no, let me explain what happened. So I went to the bank real quick, right? So it was a line of people. It was a line of people, right? And I'm sitting out in the car, the truck. Go to get up and head inside. I see this woman, and I was like, oh man, she looks good. You know, she's in good shape, and you know, look like she works out and all of that type of stuff. And I was like, wow, she looks really good. Now, mind you, this was across the parking lot. As I was getting closer and closer, I started to see her imperfections. We'll leave it at that. I started to see her imperfections and stuff, and you know, I was just like, oh, okay, you know, whatever. That's that. You know, whatever. She's not perfect, obviously. You know, from across the parking lot, it looked like, wow, magnifique. You know, beautiful body, right and tight. Got right up on them. I was like, yeah, that changed really quick. But you know, with that being said, I was thinking about it, and I was just like, you know what's funny? When you see people from afar, it looks like their life is perfect. It looks like they're just in this great place. They got it all going on. Beautiful, handsome, you know, guys, what's called girls to guys and all that type of stuff. It's like, man, like they doing their thing. But you ever notice that once you get close to certain people who you may have admired from afar, you start to realize that they're just as human as the next person, or even, ooh, wow, they're not up, you know. Some of them may have even put up a facade to fool people. And it's like, you have to be mindful when you're looking at people from a distance. There's nothing wrong with admiring people. There's nothing wrong with seeing a person and being like, man, they're beautiful, or man, they're doing their thing. They got things going. But you have to understand that, you know, if you are in a place to get close to that person, you're going to see their flaws. You're going to see the hard exterior. You're going to really see the battles that they're either going through or they've gone through. And if you've come to a person with a genuine heart, it won't matter, because if they're genuine people, you know, because you got to wear your scars, you know, these are medals of honor. These are things you've been through, you know. I've been through a heartbreak. I got this scar right here because of it. I've been through losing plenty of friends. I got these scars to prove that. I've been through being a piece of crap and dealing with what came with that. That's how I got this scar right here. You wear it as, you know, honor, because you got through that, and hopefully you've gotten to a place where you're a better person and has brought you to where you were supposed to be. I believe that everything you go through brings you to where you're supposed to be in life, towards bettering yourself. Now, on the flip side of that, you have to know when to back off. You may want to get close to somebody because they look like they can help you. They look like they're in a place that can bring you to the next part. They look like they're genuine, you know, they're generous. They just have a good spirit about them. You know, we've all been there. You know, you see a person and you're like, man, they just look like they're a good person. And then all of a sudden you start to get next to them and you realize that they are a friggin' black hole. And it's like, oh my gosh, like, they're a succubus. Like, oh my gosh, like you get next to them and they're like, ooh, I got another one. And they start draining your energy. You have to be very mindful of who you want to be up next to. And you need to be very careful, because that can backfire real quick. And then that could put you in a place, you may have been up here, you thinking somebody else is up here, but in all actuality, they're down here, and you get next to them. And I'm not saying that you get next to them because it's in a selfish manner. I don't want anybody to misconstrue this and make it seem like, you got next to them because you're being selfish and you just want them to bring you up and that's it. No, when you develop a relationship with somebody, whether it be platonic, business, romantic, whatever, you two are supposed to elevate each other. You two are supposed to bring each other up. If it's business, we supposed to be, this is a give and take thing. I provide something, I provide a service, you provide payment, you provide a service, I provide payment, we provide each other information to grow our business, etc., etc. When you develop a relationship with somebody, it's a give and take type of thing. It's supposed to be at a point where you two are bettering each other. At least, in a perfect world, that's what it's supposed to be. But we all know that that's not the case. But for the sake of this video, that's what it needs to be. So what I'm saying is when you see somebody and you see that, they seem like they're in a good place and you'd like to get next to them, or just get to know them, or even like, you got some ideas you may want to share with them. It looks like they're moving in a particular manner that would be, what's the word I'm looking for, conducive to what you got going on. Then you want to get next to them, or you try to get next to them, and you're like, yeah, to elevate yourself and, whatever you're bringing to the table to also elevate them. Or, sometimes it's just a matter of exchanging words. Sometimes it's just a matter of just passing on wisdom. With that being said, you have to be mindful when you see these people and some of them aren't what they appear to be, and they're down here and they're not trying to elevate. They're just right here and they just whatever, whether or not they're content or whether or not they're not even like in a place in their life where they're like, I need to get out of this funk that I'm in. I need to get out of this darkness that I'm in. They're just where they're at, and that's that. You need to be mindful of that, because at the end of the day, they'll start to pull you down. You'll start to sink, and you don't want that. Like, you do not want that at all. Like, you need to, oh snap, you ain't what I thought you was, and I'm not in the place to help you because you don't even want to help yourself, or you're just in a place where you don't want the help, but you don't want to see nobody else succeed too. So you put on this facade that you this and you that, and then when people of that same manner is coming around you and they like, oh snap, like all of a sudden you want to latch on to them and suck them dry, and not in a good way, So no, no, back up. You got to know when to back up. You have to listen to you have to have discernment. You have to pray for discernment. And even, if you're not even about that type of stuff, you just have to be in a place where you have good intuition. You listen to it. As you get older and stuff like that, you hear this stuff like when you're younger and you're like, whatever. Like, no, it's a real thing. When something is like hitting you like, hey, pay attention, listen to it. Listen to it. Like, wait a minute, hold on. What's going on here? What this person got going on? Because it's not what it looked like it was 2 seconds ago. You have to be mindful of when you're closing the distance on people and you're starting to get closer to them and you see that, oh, it's not what I thought it was. Then you have to be able to, back up a bit. Now, with that being said, this is strictly on I'm only speaking towards the, damn, it's getting hot in here. Sorry. I say I'm only speaking to the negative aspect of things. I'm not necessarily talking about, because sometimes you do come into a person's life to elevate them, to help bring them up, because we are here to help each. I believe that everybody here is to teach a person a lesson, whether it be for a lifetime, whether it's to be in that person's life for a lifetime, whether it's just for a chapter, whether it's just for a season, whatever. Either way, you're supposed to elevate people somehow, some way. Even if it's in a negative manner, like even if, but we're not gonna talk about that. We're not gonna talk about that. I don't want to talk. I'm just strictly talking about those that you see from afar and you get near, and then it come to find out that they're not what they appear to be, and they start to pull you down. No, you gotta back up. You gotta, hey, it was nice meeting you. Let me, whoa, So it's crazy because that's a real thing. And I literally thought about all of that when I was at the bank, because I was like, I seen the chick and I was like, oh, she's pretty, man. Da, 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 da. And I was like, just like, oh, man, just thinking about different stuff. And then I walked up on her and I was like, whew. And don't look at me and be like, oh, that's vain, Breeze. That's vain and this and that. I'm just you. That's how my mind works. Okay. I'm not disrespecting. I'm just thinking of things in a manner of just life in general and trying to be wise in the decisions that I make. So what I'm saying is, when you see people from afar, it may look like cookies and cream, but when you get up close to them, you realize that it's dirt and mud. It's not, things are not what they appear to be for the most part. So just be mindful of who you're trying to get up next to, and also be mindful of those that, they see your light, they see you shining, and all of a sudden they want to come out the woodworks, those parasites, those leeches that want to come out the woodworks. All of a sudden they want to latch on to you because now they see you moving up. And I ain't sitting here saying that you need to just, stiff arm everybody and stuff, but again, your discernment needs to come into play. If somebody's getting up next to you, and something in your spirit is saying like, this person's not genuine, be mindful of them. I ain't gonna sit here and be on some like, you just cut them off immediately. You can. There's nothing wrong with that. You can. It's your choice. But sometimes, sometimes having your guard up, just to be on the safe side and to be, incorrect. Like, no, this person is genuine. They're trying to better themselves, and they just want to be around people that's gonna show them a different light. Sometimes that really is the case, but I know most people today, the famous saying is, I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. Well, if that's the case, then the person that's coming along to help you, that, say if they have that same thought process, well, I don't have time to be trying to help elevate this person and this and that. I don't have time for that. So you got to be mindful of that. Don't be a jackass. But be very, very aware of the people that's coming into your life. Be very aware of the people that you're getting next to. Okay? Peace.